Yo, welcome everyone to the fourth episode of Which Party Will I Vote For and Why It Won't Be. Man, it breaks my heart to say this, but then on today's episode, we're gonna be discussing Mkhonto Wesizwe. I'll give you my reasons why I won't be voting for Mkhonto Wesizwe. I hope Mkhonto Wesizwe people will still watch my channel and still subscribe to my channel after watching this video. Remember guys, there's so many parties and you can only vote for one party. So I'll give you my reasons why I won't be voting for Mkhonto Wesizwe. As much as like I do respect Mkhonto Wesizwe and I want them to be successful, I want them to be there in the thick of things, I want them to continue shaking things up, because what they did since it was established, since its conception, they've been shaking things up, man. And you know what, I'll give them credit for that. They've been shaking things up, and that's what we need. Especially going into these elections that are very, very much important. And since they've been established, or since in the inception of Mkhonto Wesizwe, ANC has been panicking. ANC has been in panic mode, and which honestly, I'm glad that is happening. I'm glad that this is happening, and it happened where ANC did not expect this. ANC did not expect Zuma to do what he's doing, and they also didn't expect Zuma to have this many supporters. And again, one thing that was very smart with Mkhonto is, which I commend them, for them to demand Jacob Zuma to be on the ballot. That was very smart. Very, very smart of Mkhonto Wesizwe, and that's one chess move that ANC did not see coming. To have Jacob Zuma on the ballot, as much as like he won't be in parliament, as much as he won't be the leader of Mkhonto Wesizwe, but then to have Jacob Zuma on the ballot, that's gonna change things. That's gonna change things, and it's gonna hit ANC where it has the most. And you know what, I'm here for it, and I love to see it, because I'm one thing that I guarantee you, most people still think Zuma, let's talk about the grandmothers, old people, the grandfathers, old people that are maybe cannot read or do other things. When they see Zuma there, they still identify Jacob Zuma as an ANC member. So for them, they will think voting for seeing Zuma's face there, they will cross. That's the thing, they're gonna cross on Mkhonto Wesizwe, because they will think is Zuma, and Zuma belongs to ANC. That is very smart, right? And another thing, MK to use the Mkhonto Wesizwe the name also is a name that most people identify that name with ANC. So many chess moves that Zuma has done with this party that ANC did not see coming. And you know what, man? And even the colors, you check the colors: green, yellow, and black. Those are ANC colors. And you know what? This why ANC did not want this party to exist. There's reasons why, and like now since I started analyzing these things and dissecting these things, and I'm like, you know what, damn you Zuma, you're actually a very smart old man. Honestly, like very, very smart old man. That man, yo, no, as much as I'm not gonna vote for him, but one thing that I can tell you, that man is very, very smart. And you know what, man, if you find yourself close to Jacob Zuma, just make sure that you milk as much information and as much as knowledge as you can, because I just believe, like, just sitting with that man, there's so much that you can learn from that man, as much as he's old. But then I just feel like there's so much knowledge that you can gain from him, and by just like listening to him and just following the things that he's doing, because I feel like he has so much knowledge that he can actually pass to other people. As much as like I don't agree with him, as much as like, I was not happy with him when he was the president of ANC, which I'll get to that later. But one thing that like we cannot take away from him, that man is very smart. He's such a like, he also has the charisma. That's another thing that people will vote for him, because he is charismatic, very smart. People love him. People love Jacob Zuma. People gravitate towards Jacob Zuma easily. And I was watching Mkhonto Wesizwe's videos the past in the of their rally in Orlando Stadium, and I just found myself laughing by myself. I'm like, this old man is like, honestly, what he has that aura that like you just find yourself entertained, and you just cannot hate him. You just cannot hate. As much as like I hated him during his tenure as the president of Jacob Zuma of ANC, and like now I look back, I'm like, maybe I was too harsh on him, but then again, that happened is in the past now. But then one thing that like another thing that I'm so like, let me get into my reasons why I will not be voting for Mkhonto Wesizwe. My first reason why I won't be voting for Mkhonto Wesizwe, I went through Mkhonto Wesizwe's manifesto, right? I don't know if maybe this is the right one, but then I believe this is mkparties.org.za. I believe this is their main their website, and I went through their manifesto, and it left me very much disappointed. I don't want to lie, because I compared this manifesto with other parties' manifesto. This doesn't look like much work was done, and it's unfortunate because when you read manifesto, you expect a detailed manifesto. You expect a manifesto that is parties gonna go into details on what they're going to do, the strategies, how they're going to do it, short-term plans, medium-term plans, and long-term plans. And I didn't find those things in this manifesto, and also it looks like not much effort was put in writing down this manifesto, and it's just one thing that left me very much disappointed, because honestly it does look like a copy and paste, especially when you get to these pointers here. It just looked like not much effort was put in this, because manifesto is a major thing, because this where like you let's say like people want to know about your party and want to know, okay, your MK, what is it that you want to do? Like instead of telling me, let me read it, show me what is it that you've written down for me to actually to convince me to vote for you. I mean, if I'm a new person, like I don't know anything about MK, and I go through this manifesto, I'm not really gonna vote for them, because I'm like, it's not enough, and I feel like much job should have been done here. I mean, there's so many things, and as much as like it's short and straight to the point, but then you expect more than this. You expect more than this, especially for a party that's like is probably fighting with EFF and maybe DA. Maralista is probably fighting with DA to be the third majority party in South Africa. This is not enough. I mean, we know that like one thing for guaranteed, they're gonna get voters. They're gonna take so much chunk of voters from ANC to Mkhonto Wesizwe, and most people that are going to vote for Mkhonto Wesizwe, they're voting for Mkhonto Wesizwe because they're a fan of Jacob Zuma. They're voting for Mkhonto Wesizwe because they love Jacob Zuma. They're voting for Mkhonto Wesizwe because they are loyal to Jacob Zuma. It's not necessarily about what Mkhonto Wesizwe is going to do for them, and which is very disappointing, because that's one thing that like we South Africans, we tend to do most of the time. We vote for people because we are a fan of them, because we love them, not because of what they're going to do for us, or not because like, okay, they're actually going to better our life. We vote for them because we love them, and we're fans. Most of we use our hearts in deciding our future, instead of our brains, and it's something that I would really urge South Africans to change, because we can't be constantly using our hearts, because we know we're a country of Ubuntu. We know that we have good hearts, and that's the reason why ANC will always take advantage of us. That's the reason why ANC, they know that like as South Africans, we feel like we are indebted to them. We feel like we owe ANC, and we have to vote for them all the time, and which is not the case. We have the power, and we can just decide, okay, you know what, ANC, you're not doing this for us. No, we vote for that. I saw this other video of this young lady on TikTok. She was crying because she shook President Ramaphosa's hand, and she was crying. Then I went through the comment, and people was like, yeah man, Ramaphosa, he has this aura about him, and just for that I was going to vote for other party, but then because like he did this, I'm gonna vote for him. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't feel like, why would you do that? Because just because someone was nice to someone, then you change your mind about your previous perception you had of him, like just because of that random act of kindness, it changes your heart, it changes your mind about voting for another party. Now you're gonna vote for ANC just because of that random act of kindness. If you had not seen that, you're gonna vote for a different party. And that's one thing that South Africans need to change. I know we are a country of good hearts. We know that we have a country that always see best in people. But then again, we cannot continue like that. We cannot continue like this. These elections are important, and it's about time we vote for a party that actually convinces us that it's gonna make good changes and changes that are gonna benefit us as citizens. Not because we love people, not because we're loyal to people. And one thing that's also something that I think is gonna happen with Mkhonto Wesiso, people are gravitating towards it because not because of what Mkhonto Wesiso is gonna do for them, but because of one man, which is Jacob Zuma. And kudos to that, kudos to him, because he's loved. Nothing like, let's just get one thing straight, he's loved, and that we cannot take away from him, that we cannot take away from Jacob Zuma. I also found myself being charmed by him. I'm like, man, this guy is actually, but then again, I need to use my mind, because again, Jacob Zuma was the president of South Africa before, right? And he had a chance, had what do you call, what's the word, two chances. Let me use chances for better for law. He was voted, and then he also was voted again, right? And he had two chances as a president. And did he do enough? Maybe. But then again, what is it that he's gonna do differently that he didn't do while he was the president of ANC? And also, Jacob Zuma is old. And as much as maybe he's not gonna be the leadership, he's not gonna be in parliament, but then I'm sure he's still gonna have a major input on what's on decision taken in the Mkhonto Wesiso, because at the end of the day, that party is his, right? As much as like maybe he won't be in parliament, he won't be the president of it, he will still have major input on the direction of the party. He will have major input on what the party policies and whatnot. So we need new ideas. We need fresher ideas, and we need people that like are also still young. We can't be putting our future in Jacob Zuma's hand. Jacob Zuma is old, and he's been there and he's done it, right? It's about time that we give a different party a chance, because again, one thing I'm guaranteed, I mean, I'll go back to Jacob Zuma's daughter, Zambudla Zuma. I'm not sure if I'm calling her name correctly, but we can all remember during the Durban's and what was it, when Jacob Zuma was arrested. We remember what happened. People were burning things, people were burning trucks, the stores were burnt. It was just a mess, and it got to a point where like so I remember I used to follow that lady, and she was in a way encouraging that violence, because he would go on Twitter and text and say, let's say for example, Soweto, we see you, Aikale, eThekwini, we see you, Aikale, Mpumalanga, Nelspruit, we see you, Aikale. And that's not the leadership that you want. And if, let's say, maybe Mkhonto Wesiso find itself in parliament, you know that like she's gonna have a position, not because of merit, but then because of she's the daughter of Jacob Zuma. And that's not what we want. We can't be carrying on with nepotism. We can't be carrying on with that. It's about time that like major decisions are taken, and we think more about the future of South Africa, and we put the future of South Africa in the right hands. I'm not saying Mkhonto Wesiso is not the right hands, but do I trust them that like they will take this country forward and make necessary changes that are needed in the country? Absolutely not, because Jacob Zuma was there. As much someone may say, like, but then he was surrounded by wrong people. Okay, I get that, but then again, he was still the president. He still had a major say in most of the things. So I just feel like if maybe Jacob Zuma could not do these things that he promised to do right like now, during his stint as a president of Jacob Zuma. What makes people think he will impact their lives positively and differently this time around? I don't think so. I just don't think we should put our future in Jacob Zuma. Yes, they are very important to be in parliament. Very, very much important. I need them to be in parliament. I need Mkhonto we Sizwe to be in parliament. Yes, I need them to be in parliament. But then to be in leadership, to be like, I just don't think so. I just don't think they're the right party, right? But then one thing that I would say they are very important. Mkhonto we Sizwe very, very important for the upcoming election, because huge chunk of people, a big number of followers are gonna move from ANC to Mkhonto we Sizwe. And one thing I think the whole of Durban, most of KZN